Good morning and welcome to Sunday Special where Dr. Lamba explains Sikhism. Guru Gobind Singh's birthday was recently celebrated with great aplomb all over places where the Sikhs are. And in fact, Guru Gobind Singh was not merely a Guru of Sikhs. He is what they call in Punjabi Mard Agambara, the pinnacle of mankind. He is in fact a man for all seasons. In fact, a man for all reasons, a multi-hued personality. And that's why they say, not only was he an example, a king of kings, Badshah, the king of the kings. And Nasro Mansoor Guru Gobind Singh, SD Mansoor Guru Gobind Singh. Guru Gobind Singh is the helper of the poor. Guru Gobind Singh himself has the help of God. And people who consider him only as a Sikh Guru are mistaken because they are not aware of his multi-hued aspects. He was a great warrior, not only that. He was a great poet, not only that. He was a great student of literature, a great poet. He knew many languages, Sanskrit, Braj Bhasha, Persian, Hindi. And that's why his personality transcends only the fighting. People say he sacrificed his whole family, which is correct. But was he only that? No. As the Persian poet Nandla says, Musulman de o dost ne, neki una di pehchan. Shees jhuka ke aadar karo, Guru Gobind Singh una da naam hai. So he is a friend of the innocent. His identity is doing good. Born as Gobind Rai in Patna, short statured, not white complexion, and in India people with a white complexion are deemed to be demigods. He was a spiritual master, he was a warrior, he was a poet, he was a philosopher. Imagine the capability of a 10-year-old boy telling his father, you go and sacrifice your life so that the culture of India is not destroyed. Married at the age of 11 and became father of 4 sons. And a prolific writer, a prolific poet, and a philosophical poet. As a matter of fact, his capabilities as a poet and as a scholar by themselves are enough. And at the age of 13, he was instrumental in creation of Khalsa. And it was a ceremony of initiation of 5 administrators of initiation rites, and he adopted the name of Singh, the Lion. He fought important battles, sacrificed earlier his father, then his 4 sons and mother, and he died at the age of 42. But his legacy, before his death, he compiled the entire text of Guru Granth. And he did it from memory, imagine it. He infused the scripture with a light that was passed on to him by Guru Nanak. And it has been made alive for the people in the shape of Guru Granth, which is deemed to be a living Guru. While living in Patna, as a toddler, he was a favorite food, and it was prepared daily for him for a childless queen. And there is a Gurdwara called Bal Leela there. And what you get there in sacrament is chickpeas and puri, the fried bread, because that was his favorite. There was another lady, very old, poor woman, who shared all she had saved to cook a kettle of khichdi. Khichdi is a rice preparation, rice and lentils. And the tradition of that woman continues in another Gurdwara in Patna, Handi Sahib. Now, coming to that, he fought battles, that we'll come to. But most important is he started the process of writing letters called hukams, indicating his will that the Khalsa adhere to the strict code of ethics, and that was called Rahatnama. He wrote hymns praising the virtues of Khalsa, which are included in a compilation called Dasam Gram. And if we look at the battles, he fought historic battles, series of battles between 1688 to 1707 against the complete Mughal Empire, against all the 22 kings of Himalayas, and most significant of the battles are Baghnani. And that battle, in fact, starts a chapter of Guru Gobind Singh's great autobiographical work called Vichitra Natak. Here, Fateh Shah, along with the mercenary commanders, Yaz Khan and Naib Khan, attacked these forces. And Guru fought them. And when you believe, this very person became his disciple. Then was the battle of Nadaon. Again, the non-Muslims aligned with the Gurus and refused to pay tribute to the Islamic officials. And then, in that time, when these two battles Guru won, Aurangzeb, who was in south, ordered that he be annihilated. Then came the battle of Guler. And Dilawar Khan's son Rustam Khan, they teamed up with the Hindu king of Guler. And the battle was won by Guru Gobind Singh. Then there were two battles of Anandpur. First battle, and then the second battle when the Guru had to leave Chimkaur Sahib. Then came the battle of Nimroghat, or the banks of Nimroghat. The battle continued for 2 days with heavy losses, but the Muslims, the Mughal armies left the field. Then was the battle of Basoli against the Mughal. And as a matter of fact, this was a crucial battle. And the Mughal army was supported by the rival kingdom of Kalora of Raja Ajmer Shah. And then was the battle of Anandpur, the third battle. This was a crucial battle. Here, the two elder sons died. Two youngers were taken captive and buried alive, which I discussed last time. The mother died there as well. And now coming to the personality, these are the battles I've given, and I wrote an article 2 years back detailing these letters. And he had a mastery in archery and weapons. In fact, the most expensive and unique weapons at that time were with Guru Gobind Singh. One was Nagni Barsha. It was a special javelin which they had. And most of even Sikhs are not available, Nagni Barsha. And that was used by Guru Gobind Singh and then by Vichitra Singh for attacking a mad elephant with the Mughal forces had sent for attacking Sikhs. His khanda, the double-edged sword, is so heavy that an ordinary person cannot lift it, and he used it to fight. The personal sacrifices of Guru Gobind Singh were against not an individual but against Fenian warfare. A tremendous effort he had to take. But then, if we only talk of the war, we are in fact negating the personality of Guru Gobind Singh. He was a great lover of music. And if I tell you something, you'll be amazed. He invented two musical instruments, Dilruba and taus. These two Indian musical instruments were invented and created by Guru Gobind Singh. And today Dilruba and taus are an integral part of the folk music and the classical music. And can you believe a person who has been fighting right from the age of 13 and died at the age of 42 has the time to look after music and create those instruments which send waves of empathy in you. As a matter of fact, I discussed the significance of Dilruba in taus when I discussed the Indian ragas in one of my comments last. And not only that, he was a great poet, as I said earlier. Excellent poet, full of philosophy. When he was just 19-year-old, he composed Jap Sahab. The vocabulary that was used says just one fact: universalism. So he was a saint, he was a poet, he was a musician, he was a scholar, he was an archer, and he was a warrior. And as I said, he was master of Urdu, Hindi, Sanskrit, Persian, Braj Bhasha, and Gurmukhi. These multifarious activities and his divine poetic compositions are all phenomenal literary. Jap Sahab, when he was just 19-year-old, is described the attributes of God. And the alliteration, the musical, Ajay hai, Abhay hai, Abhang hai, Ajang hai. I mean, so when I read it, it's just amazing. And then the vocabulary and the connotations used are not restrictive. And the message is delivered stressing the universalism. And person from any faith can relate to it. And the message in all his literary writing was oneness, love, equality, moral code of conduct. He could say, Manas ki zaat sab ek pehchan bo, that all people are humankind, are one. Dera or Masjid Soi. So there is no difference between Dera, there's a temple, and a masjid. And then the Vichitar Natak, the great literary work of Guru Sahib. And it describes the previous line, which have an impact on the personal life. And he had 52 poets in his court. Galaxy of poets and scholars, they came. There's another writer at that time, Swarup Das Bhalla. He wrote a book at that time, Mahima Prakash. And he said that Guru Gobind Singh said that let people of all faiths and all religions come to him. And they came and were part of it. So 52 number exceeded, and apart from 52 poets, there were 36 lekhakars. Lekhakars were the writers. So poet is just reciting his poem and the writer is writing. Several people like Sukhdev, Pandit Sukhdev, Brind, Alim, Kamavate, Kanshiram, Nandlal, Goya. They used to be in the Mughal court, but then they said no, the Mughals appreciate them, but Guru Gobind Singh is much more appreciative and rewarding. These women, these people, all left the Mughal court and came to Guru Gobind Singh. And at that time, more than 4 productive years, huge work was done. And not only that, now I'm going to tell you something which practically very few people know. He translated classics like as Chanakya-Niti, Ranchtantra, Hitopadesh, Upanishad, and part of Mahabharata in Braj Bhasha. They were in Braj, and he also got them translated in Punjabi. Then he got prepared a manual on martial arts, rearing, training, employment of hawks, horses, elephants, camels. Bhai Santokh Singh, author of Shri Guru Pratap Singh Granth, says that a single anthology called Vidyasar or Vidyasagar, meaning the ocean of knowledge. And can you believe the total manuscript, the weight of the paper was 350 kilograms. That much writing was done. 9 months, that is 350 kilograms. And whatever the quantity of material, the entire literature was lost when they had to leave Anandpur Sahib. Much was lost in the flooded Sarsa river. But what is left behind is no less. Then his famous blue-colored horse, Neele Ghode Wala they call him, blue horse rider, is famous. As a matter of fact, there are a couple of stories about blue horse, which I have put in my article, which I am going to repost. And there are 2 gurdwaras dedicated to that. One is the Gurdwara Bhatta Sahib in Punjab, and other is Kotla Nihal Khan and the rider of the Blue Horse, that's near Roper. And these are fascinating stories. Then the cultural roots are most important. Are you aware that the people who say that Sikhism has nothing to do with Hinduism are mistaken, because Guru Gobind Singh worshipped Durga, and Guru Gobind Singh wrote Dasam Granth, the 1428 pages of personal worship of God. And in this work, the name of Durga occurs over 120 times, along with Chandi, Bhavani, Chandika, Devi, Ambika, and more. At the very start of his epic, Chandi Diwar, for example, he invokes the power of Adi Shakti in the form of Pratham Bhagavati Samarkrit. And that's a part of the Sikh prayer. It's mandatory and the reality has to be recited. And the prayer begins with Shri Bhagavati Ji Sahai. And God is one, that is it. So, he was a worshipper of the Divine Mother, and he writes, Kirpa kari ham par jagmata, Granth kara puran subrata. Divine Mother of the universe showered her blessings on me, and I was able to complete this Guru Granth. He makes it amply clear. And he writes in his book, Vichitar Natak, that in his previous work, he did a lot of penance at Hemkund, which is a famous Gurdwara now, and worshipped the primordial mother, Mahakal Kalika. He performed 1 year long Chandi Havan at Naina Devi before he started his wars. He set for his work both in the physical and spiritual plane. And there are very few people who have this sort of a thing. And he was not cut off from the roots. His praise for Goddess Bhagavati has one thing was clear. He was of the firm belief that even Ma Durga and Lord Ramakrishna owe it to ultimately to God. These Bhavani and Shiv, he worshipped Shiva. Dev Shiva bar mohe hai shubh karmante kabunagdaru. So, with the blessing of the God, Durga destroyed the demons like Som, Nisum, Dome, Lochan, Chand and Moon. But he departed from the old molds. He made it clear that ultimately these are all creations of the ultimate God. But was he only that? That's the beauty. He was the promoter of humanism. He was the initiator of the modern ideas. He was not only an amalgam of diverse and excellent traits, but a great visionary and concepts. The concept of Red Cross actually started with him when he told Bhai Kanhaiya to provide medicine and life-sustaining water even to the enemy soldiers. And then this concept was used by Henry Dwant to create the Red Cross. He was against caste and creed. The 5 Sikhs, the Panch Pyara, they belonged to the lower classes. He gave women the identity and believed in gender equality, and he called all women cows, the princess. And his women generals like Mai Bhago are examples of the high status given to the women. He was a role model for all times, for all eras. And he was not only for that age, as I said, but a man for all seasons and for all reasons. A man who connected the past, the hoary Indian culture, with fight for freedom and human rights, gender equality, creation of Red Cross embryo, and then connects his vision. That sort of man cannot be deemed to be belonging to one religion. Such a man transcends all restrictions, and that's why I call him the pinnacle of being a human being that can be looked up to but not copied.